What's happening, PricePlow Nation and NutraBio Biocare? I'm here with DaCruz of Nutrabio, and we are talking a lot about supplements, but let's get a little bit, not necessarily away from supplements, but let's talk about nutrient timing in general, because I know this is something you're very passionate about. You're a very, very seasoned bodybuilder. We'll make links to your Instagram and everything. We'll flash up some hot pictures of Brandon. Okay. You know what you're doing at the end of the day. And we rolled through your nootropic stack this morning. Let's talk about nutrient meal timing. What are you up to lately? And I'm not sure if we want to target this towards contest prep or just when you're just being generally healthy. But
we can talk both generalities, more for Gen Pop, but we can also talk about contests, because right now I am in a contest prep phase. So right now specifically, it's very geared towards that, or it's for that goal. So I really believe in nutrient timing, especially around the peri-workout window. When it comes to general population clients, I tell people, listen, if you could just nail the perimeter around your workout, pre-workout, intra-workout, and post-workout, the rest of the day, as long as you're hitting your macros essentially, or hitting your caloric intake for the day, you're good. You don't have to worry about your protein timing. You don't have to worry about the composition. If you want to do a protein, fat, and carb meal, that's fine. If you want to separate just to protein, carbs, and protein, fat meals, that's great, all well and good. But around the workout perimeter, there's so much research and so much science going in on what's the most efficacious approach. So me personally, I take a very specific approach to workout supplementation, but also my nutrition around my workout, because you can only perform in the gym with as much fuel as you provide your body with. So that fuel, that substrate, that's what's most important in that workout. So what I do personally is pre-workout, I will do proteins and carbs with a small amount of fat. So my actual pre-workout meal is 2 scoops of our whey protein isolate, so a quick digesting protein source. Now keep in mind, I'm gonna train within 60 to 90 minutes of having this meal. So I want something quick that's gonna flood my body with amino acids, and it isn't going to cause me any GI distress. That's huge.
What time are you training at?
So generally I'm training at 7:30 at night. So around 6 o'clock.
After work.
Yes. So 6 o'clock we close down the office. I'm just mixing up the meal. Usually I'm either having in my car or just as soon as I leave the office. So with that being said, I want something convenient first and foremost. That's a huge thing for people that work a busy job, busy day. I travel excessively throughout the country for this. So I want something that I could do anywhere. On the road, all I need is a microwave, some water, some cream of rice, and some protein powder, essentially. So what I do, I make it very convenient. Obviously, I have access to the best supplements, in my opinion, in the world. So I do 2 scoops of whey protein.
And that's going to provide 50 grams of actual protein.
Yes, protein yield. So keep in mind, it is 28.74 grams of actual protein content, but the yield on that is 25 grams per scoop. So I am doing 50 grams. Now keep in mind that this is for my intake, what I'm doing.
Give us your stats. You're very tall. What's your weight right now?
Generally, I'm 6'2.5", so that's not generally, that's always. Generally, in the off season, I'm around 220 to 225. Contests, I fluctuate between 205, 210, sometimes a little bit heavier than that. Really depends on my water depletion, my carb loading, things of that sort. Right. So that is subject to change. But right now, I'm about 210. And with that being said, I generally take in about 1.25 to 1.5 grams of protein per pound of body weight. So that is a little bit high for some people, but in a dieting phase, I do believe in raising your protein content to help with the muscle sparing effect.
Agreed, yeah.
So with that being said, I'm generally taking in between about 275 to 300 grams of protein a day. So right under that 1.5.
And that's tough to do without a little bit of whey isolate powder or whey powder in general.
Absolutely. So generally, I'll have 2 scoops of quick digesting, whey protein isolate pre-workout. I will mix that with 90 grams of cream of rice, which yields about 72 grams of carbohydrates. And then I also put a scoop of our MCT powder in. The reason I do that is I'm looking at the composition of everything that I'm using. I'm utilizing a fast digesting protein, like I said, to just aid in getting those amino acids into the bloodstream, getting that substrate. I'm also using a fast digesting carb source with the cream of rice, so it's going to come in, it's going to spike my insulin. But I don't want to get to spike my insulin and get that insulin dump. I don't want that serotonin production that's going to make me tired and groggy. So what I do with that is I use MCT oil, or MCT powder rather, and that's going to help with
drag it out a little bit.
Exactly, it's going to help with that steady stream of insulin.
So are you like a maniac about it's got to be C8 MCT or?
Man, I'm going to be honest, I do.
Okay.
So even prior to working in
NutraBio,
so I worked in distribution prior to. I had a chain of retail stores that I ran. I always used C8 powder. Or I would use the oil. So I just wanted that caprylic acid content. I wanted the highest yield because you are what you eat. So even if I did, previously I used to do almond butter, but I made sure it had no oils and it was 100% natural. I was sprung through organic stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm paying $15 a tub as compared to, go to Costco and get an $8 tub with palm oil in it. Really for me, it's all about the composition. It's all about the quality of the source itself, but also the digestibility. So I'm using those three constituents. I'm using, a high quality protein, carb, and fat source, all going to provide me with energy because MCT is well known for increasing ketone bodies. So now I'm getting carbohydrates, so I'm increasing glycogen storage, and I'm increasing my ketone bodies.
Yeah.
And with that being said,
that's the double rocket fuel. I love that. Yeah.
100%. And ketone bodies are known to help with insulin sensitivity and driving nutrients. So you're getting something. All of these are drivers that are going to work in a quick fashion. It's a quick meal to make, but it's also a quick meal to digest. So I generally, I'm very into getting into a parasympathetic state before I eat. Your parasympathetic nervous system, it's part of your autonomic nervous system. I'm high wired. I'm sympathetic dominant. So like I'm always going. I'm always, even with or without stimulants, I'm just always go. So what I got to do is I do some deep breathing exercises. I do some diaphragmatic breathing, really get myself into a restful state, and then I slowly eat. And the biggest thing with eating and digestion is chewing. I think a lot of people, that's a misconception.
Seriously.
Slot that stuff down.
Right.
So for me, I'm eating it very slowly, so it does take me
Even
about 15
cream of
minutes.
wheat.
I don't use cream of wheat, so I don't want any gluten content. That's me personally.
I thought you mentioned cream of wheat before.
Cream of rice.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Rice. Yes,
cream of rice.
So
My
gluten
bad.
free.
Agreed, by the way.
So I'm using that, and I'm going to eat that very slowly, 15 minutes, which for a small tub, like most people get that down in 3 to 4 minutes. I've seen people on their way into the gym eating that at the desk, signing in and just slopping.
But your mouth is the first part of the digestion process. That's where the amylase is. That's where you're going to start to break down the carbohydrates, and we bypass that by being maniacs.
And also the salivary effect of me doing the breathing as I'm looking at what I consider a dessert, because think about it, I'm using like one of our great protein isolate flavors, like our cinnamon sugar donut.
Pancakes, maple syrup would go well with that. Yeah.
And then I'm putting in this sweetening MCT powder, and then I'm going to put some, I might do some flex flavors, or I might put in some, I'm very into all natural based stuff, stevia based products, so a lot of times I do use our natural or grass-fed isolate, which is incredible, honestly. Taste is second to none, but because it is a lot of cream of rice, what I'll do is I'll put in like some sweet leaf stevia drops, so like the chocolate flavor made with natural cocoa, amazing.
Cool. Yeah,
so
I got a couple
no
of those,
caloric content, but just going to increase that. It's like a dessert. It's like a concoction, my concoction bowl. So I'll eat that, and generally I'm in the gym within 75 minutes. So within that time period, I've eaten that, about an hour pre-workout, I start taking my pre-workout nutrients. So it'll be my pre-workout powder, which would be pre-stim free, because like we spoke about before on the last video, I don't do stimulants right before the workout, but I'll use pre-stim free. So
when you say pre-stim free, you're talking about NutraBio pre-stim free.
Yes,
it's actually just the name of the product. Real simple.
So I'm going to get efficacious doses of performance enhancers like creatine, L-citrulline, betaine, betaine. I'm going to get my essential minerals, hydration complex, things of that sort. So everything that's going to enhance my performance, plus some nootropics like your L-tyrosine. On top of that, I put a scoop of alpha-EA.
Nice.
So I'm getting that because I want more amino acids to provide a substrate. But also I want the estrogen that's in there that's going to increase the absorption. So I'll do that about an hour. I'll sip on that. Everything I do is kind of in a slow manner, especially around the workout, because I'm taking in a bolus dose of water. What a lot of people forget is that pre-workouts, when they first came out, I was in distribution when they first came out, really the benefit was that it was making you drink a bunch of water and you were getting better hydrated. If you remember the old formulas, honestly, there weren't much. There weren't much in the way of actually efficacious ingredients. They were sprinkle dusted and window dressed formulas, but it was getting you to drink 16 to 20 ounces of water, and we know the detriments that dehydration causes to performance.
Interesting take,
so what I'll do is I'll put the alpha-EA, I'll put the pre-stim free, and then I'll put 500 to 1,000 milligrams of pink sea salt. So I want that sodium bump. So with that being said, I'm going to help with the cellular hydration aspect. I'm going to make sure that my cell is hydrated. I'm ready to go. And then I'm going to start sipping on my intra-workout as I walk into the gym. My intra is going to be comprised, depending on what time of year, the actual composition or the actual macros in it will differ. But I'm always going to use super carbs, so your highly branched cyclic dextrin.
Yes.
Huge believer in that, because remember, I just spiked my insulin a little bit, but I steadied it with the Mct Oil. I want to continue that insulin stream.
Right.
But steady insulin stream, not a spike. So with that being said, I'm going to take the highly branched cyclic dextrin, a low osmolarity carbohydrate. It's going to sit well in my stomach. Really good gastric emptying effect. So no digestion
We are
issues.
huge fans of the super carb and the plus reduction. Yeah.
No, it's an incredible product. Then it's going to have the hydration complex in there. So you're going to have the albion minerals. So you're going to continue with hydration, which is the biggest overlooked aspect of performance, in my opinion, because you're sweating out so many nutrients. You look at the research by like Sandra Godak. People are sweating out grams of sodium during their workout, and a lot of times they're not replacing
We
it.
can't be fearing the sodium, especially when we're doing what you're doing.
No. So I'm a heavy excreter, especially in the summer. Like in a contest prep, like I'm sweating like you can't believe. There's no, you can ask Ben. There's not a lot of AC in a lot of gyms in Jersey. So I want to make sure I'm hydrated. So I'm using super carb, 1 to 2 scoops generally. All season I've went up to 150 grams.
How many carbs is that for the people who?
Right now in a contest prep, I'm using 25 grams. So that's the minimum. The research has been done on 15 grams, so that's all you really need to get the benefits. However, I do use 1 scoop, which is 25. I've went up to 150 and still gotten really good, as long as I diluted enough water.
Right.
So I'm generally doing it in close to a gallon if I'm doing that much. A small dose, like 25 grams of highly branched cyclic dextrin. I'm going to dilute in 32 to 64 ounces of water, so I'm getting that hydration effect. I'm going to put another 500 milligrams to 1,000 milligrams of pink sea salt. I'm also going to put a scoop of EA Pure as well as a scoop of Intrablast. So EA Pure, we're going to get the essential amino acids complex. We're going to get the estrogen to increase absorption. It also helps with glycogen restoration. So it's going to help with the actual synthesis of the carbohydrates from the highly branched cyclic dextrin. But highly branched cyclic dextrin also acts as a facilitator and a nutrient driver. So it's going to help to shuttle those amino acids into the working muscle group. I use Intrablast as well because I'm trying to get around 20 grams of essentials. And now Intrablast has 20 grams of amino acids, 10 grams of essential amino acids, in that. It's got 5 grams of glutamine, it's got a hydration complex, so it has a little bit different of a profile than does the EA Pure. So I'm using those two, and then I go throughout my workout, and I'm fueled I'm there generally there 2 to 3 hours. So that's including my mobility work, my actual training session, which is generally 75 to 90 minutes on average, and then also my post-workout cardio because I am in a dieting phase. Then from there, a lot of people, there used to be this misconception that there was like this 30-minute to an hour window, post-workout window. First of all, eating post-workout, in my opinion, is one of the worst times to eat. If you're slamming down something, even if it's just a shake, you are in a sympathetic dominant position right there. You have just revved up your CNS, you just exerted yourself. So really your body is in fight or flight mode. That is what the sympathetic system is. And like I said, I always want to get into that parasympathetic state when I'm actually taking in nutrients. With that being said, I'm going to hit the sauna. I'm big into sauna therapy, so I do that for about 15 to 20 minutes post-workout. And it's
what temperature?
You know what? I don't, to be honest with you. Yeah, it's just the commercial. I make sure that any gym I go to, I have 8 gym memberships that they have one, but generally we're not looking at infrared. I do infrared on the weekends. I do go to a recovery center where I'll do cryotherapy, I'll do things of that sort, modalities like that, but just 15 to 20 minutes of sauna. I do it every single day. Research has usually been done on 25 to 30 minutes, 3 to 4 times a week. But with that being said, I'm going to increase that heat shock proteins. So I'm getting the detox benefits of the sauna itself. I'm going to help with excreting a little bit more of any impurities that I have in my system, any free radicals that I just produce in the workout itself. But I'm also giving myself a chance to just kind of calm down. I'm stretching in the sauna. I might do some meditation, things like that. I'm getting myself in a parasympathetic state.
So at what point are you willing to eat? Because I agree. Like what I realized myself post-workout, I did a oatmeal week and I did blood sugar experiments with a bunch of oatmeal. I was testing some stuff and I was always post-workout. I was crashing and dumping every time, like no matter what I did. And I hated it. I was like, you know what? I realized that I like to front load my carbs before the workout, but that was like when you start tinkering with things, you start seeing that. So at what point are you back to eating? Because you got to get to bed eventually too.
Yeah, of course. So I do train late at night. So if you think about it, I get there 7:30. I'm not done in the gym until like 10:30.
Nice.
So it's late. I want to get home. I up at 5 o'clock every day for fasted. So I need to get back in my routine. But generally what I do is, speaking about blood glucose, I don't do the Dexcom. I would love to get into that, but I do check my blood sugar just to titrate some of the amount of carbohydrates, especially in the off season, to see my insulin sensitivity.
Right.
Then I'll check it if it's back on the baseline. Remember, highly branched cyclic dextrin does cause a little insulin release, but it's not substantial. Generally, I'm back between 80 and 90 milligrams per deciliter.
Awesome.
Post workout. And generally, I'll have finished my workout, done about 15 to 30 minutes of cardio, depending on how much I had left from the morning session. I'll be in the sauna for about 20, 25 minutes. And then the ride home, luckily, is 5 to 10 minutes away, depending on the traffic. At that point, generally at night, no traffic. So it's about an hour post-workout is when I'm getting home. I'll start making my meal, and I'm eating within 90 minutes of having completed my workout.
Gotcha. Awesome.
So pretty simple.
Pretty simple.
But you know what? It works for me. And at that point, I'm having a high-quality protein source, whole food source, though. I'm doing chicken. Maybe I'll do some beef, something like that. And I'm doing white rice. I'm doing jasmine rice. I'm doing a bolus dose of sodium to rehydrate myself. Because remember, I just got into the sauna, so I'm sweating. I'm excreting out all these nutrients. And then I'm also sipping on some type of amino acid cocktail. I'm just trying to get, it's increasing the absorption of some of those nutrients. And then I take a large assortment of supplements. I'm going to take magnesium.
Yes, magnesium before bed. I noticed if I miss 2 magnesium days in a row, my sleep starts falling.
Without a doubt. Magnesium is something that so many people are deficient in and don't even realize.
Yeah.
So I take it in the morning with my breakfast and with my breakfast nutrients, which is my multivitamin, my essential fatty acids, things like that. And then I also take it before bed. I'll take, with that meal, I'll take L-theanine, anything to calm down. But I'm taking those nutrients right before I eat that post-workout meal of chicken and rice.
Gotcha.
I'm just trying to calm myself down, making sure that digestion is 100%. I'm going to take a bunch of digestive enzymes, which is something we are looking into release soon because I use more digestive enzymes than anyone I know. Yeah, I've always had GI issues, so I'm really trying to maximize. And like with everything, with this product, the Absorb that we were talking about previously, we're just trying to maximize everything we do. Why invest the time, energy, money, and effort into something if you're not going to be able to get the most out of it, especially if you have the education and the knowledge behind it. So that's my peri-workout nutrition, and make sure I'm fueled properly. So this is all with certain intentions. Fuel your body properly for the workout itself. Make sure that you have enough fuel in the gym, especially in a deficit. That's super important. That's why people ask me all the time, why do you still use carbohydrates in your workout? You could have an extra 100, calories in one of your other meals, and they're right. I do take carbohydrates from one of my other meals and I put it in the inter-workout perimeter, but I find that it provides me with that extra fuel, that extra kick.
That's the time to do it, in my opinion. Yeah.
To keep progressing and to keep training, especially in those long sessions where I'm depleted and I may have been on 100 grams of carbs for the day, and I'm dying in there.
Yeah.
And then, post-workout is all about facilitating recovery, glycogen restoration, just making sure that I'm rebuilding the tissue that I broke down. So, there's a lot of muscle protein breakdown. Now you got to synthesize protein. You got to help with muscle protein synthesis. So quality protein powder or quality protein source like your chicken. I'm going to mix that with some essential amino acids to round out the profile. I'm going to throw some glycine in there to help to calm my system down, especially because I want to balance out that methionine to glycine ratio. A lot of times, within our whole food protein sources, we're low on glycine. That's why collagen protein is becoming so popular these days. So I'll use a glycine source, 3 to 5 grams. So it's going to help me get to sleep a little bit quicker. I'm going to use some KSM-66 along with that magnesium, the L-theanine, things like that I mentioned before. So that whole protocol is what really helps to maximize my physique, my progress, but also my performance, which all 3 of those are so important to me. So I suggest that to a lot of my competitors. Now I make it super simple for my Gen Pop. So for you guys out there, you're not competing, you're not getting on the stage, you don't do fitness modeling like I do. Don't think that it has to be super complicated. High quality protein source and quick digestion carbohydrate. For those that are always on the run, I say a scoop or 2 of protein depending on your body weight and your protein needs for the day. I see some rice cakes. Rice cakes, almond butter, rice cakes, some type of nut butter. Super simple. I would spring for an organic source of nut butter, but you can even do something super simple on the way to the gym or on your way home from work. 2 scoops of protein powder, 4 rice cakes, which is going to yield about 45 grams of protein or 45 grams of carbohydrates rather, and a scoop of nut butter.
Awesome. You'll notice that a lot of us on PricePlow Nation, all of our friends, we love our rice. Get it, I don't know, that's wheat nonsense. Get it out of here. Big fans of rice. But okay, Brandon, we have a lot to do today, and that was an excellent video. I have nothing further to add here. I think it's going to be a fun time writing up the description we're going to make links to everything that you mentioned and what you do and everything. And I really appreciate it. But I think this has been going to be really helpful for people who are really trying to take it to the next level like you have.
Absolutely. And if you guys link my profile, if anyone has any questions, feel free. I consider myself, pretty interactive, especially on social media, especially on Instagram. You can find me at Brandon DaCruz. Any questions, feel free to ask me. Supplementation questions, nutrition questions, training questions. That's why I'm here. I do this because I'm passionate about this as a business and as an industry, and that's why I've done this the last 10 years. So.
Nice, and it definitely shows. So thank you so much.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.